Hi, it's Will with thePageantGuy.com here with none other than the beautiful Miss District of Columbia 2012, Allyn Rose, a dear friend of thePageantGuy.com, arriving on her first day at the Miss America 2013 pageant. Allyn, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. It's my first time here in Vegas at the Miss America pageant, so we're up here in Planet Hollywood, loving it.
So you've had a very long year, and now you're in Las Vegas competing for the title of Miss America 2013. Tell me a little bit about your year from the moment you were crowned.
I mean, it's been absolutely a whirlwind since I was crowned. I wasn't even really sure I was going to compete in the pageant. I mean, people told me, you can't do the Miss America pageant, you don't have a talent. I said, you know what? I'm just fine with the talent portion is for me. So I decided to skate as my talent. And I mean, I've just been having such a blast as Miss DC and getting to travel around, getting to perform my talent. And I mean, it's just been an incredibly humbling opportunity to be able to share my platform, especially the last few months on the national stage. And, I couldn't be more blessed.
Speaking of your talent is artistic roller skating, right?
Yeah, it's called artistic roller skating, and a lot of people have no idea what that is. But I like to tell people it's a lot like what you see in the Olympics when it comes to ice skating. You know, the jumps and the spins and all those technical elements. But instead of doing it on ice blade, I do it on four wheels.
Alan, can you give us a sneak peek of what you're going to be roller skating on? I mean, do you have your skates there with you?
I do. I do. I have it right here with me. These are my trusty roller skates. They're 10 years old. I just upgraded some of the hardware on the bottom here because they were getting a little rusty. Um, but I don't know. I'm so excited. This is just, I think it's the best part of the competition is getting to take all of the hard work. I was a figure skater for 10 years. I traveled all over the country and I had to stop when my mom got sick with cancer. But being able to do this, being able to honor her memory and all of the dedication she put into my life so I could live my dream as a skater, I mean, I'm so excited.
Alan, you mentioned your mother, and along with your mother, you've lost other women in your family to breast cancer. And although you haven't been diagnosed, you decided to undergo a double mastectomy for preventative measures. What brought you to this decision?
Well, it's been something that I've thought about for a long time and something that, far precedes competing in pageants. When my mom was diagnosed and eventually lost her life, I was 16 years old. And it's a really pinnacle time in your life where you're developing into a woman, you're becoming the person that you're going to be. And it's a time where you need your mom, the most. I didn't have my mom help me pick up my prom dress or be there for me when I went on my first date, all of those first milestones. And, I really started thinking to myself, I don't want my kids to ever go through that. I don't want my children to know what it's like to live without a mom. And so over the last few years, I've really done my research and I found out that, I didn't just lose my mom to this disease. My grandmother died of it. My great aunt died of it. So many women in my immediate family had passed away from this disease. And I said, I don't want to face that fear. I don't want to have that risk looming over my head. Is this going to be the year that I get this? My mom was diagnosed at 27. And so I said, I'm 24 years old. This is the time where I really need to make a decision. And I think it's the right one for me.
Your dad said, I don't want you to end up dead like your mother.
Yeah.
Now, those are some pretty harsh words. What were your first reactions to that?
Uh, I mean, I was 18, and it's the time in your life where you think you're way smarter than you are, that your parents are idiots, and that you know better than them. And so, I mean, like any 18-year-old kid, I said, my dad is crazy and he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I think over the time, you realize you don't have the luxury of your youth anymore, especially somebody like me, having a mom diagnosed at such a young age. And, the more mature I got as years gone by, I realized my dad was right. And I didn't want to end up dead like my mom. And I wanted to be around for my kids the way my mom hasn't been able to.
What do you remember most about your mom?
Um, I think just her friendship. My mom and I had such an incredible relationship. I mean, she was my best friend, my confidant, my personal comedian. And I feel like when you lose your mom, you lose that one person that you can really share everything in your life with. Every aspect. Your mom's the only person that cares about, all those little minute details. And to not have somebody like that has been really hard. But I know that I had 16 amazing years with my mom, 16 years where I knew that I was the most important person in my mom's life and that she would do anything for me to be able to live my dreams. And, most people don't have that kind of relationship with their parents. So I think it's just that friendship that she had with me that I carry with me the most.
Some of your critics may say that you're leveraging the surgery to gain the sympathy vote for Miss America. What's your
Yeah.
response to them?
I mean, I decided to have this surgery far before I ever decided to compete in pageants. And I think the great thing about this organization is that women are given an opportunity to have their things in their life be the message that spreads on. And, Robin Roberts has a really great quote where she says, make your mess your message. The things that you go through in your life, your trials and tribulations, you turn those into a platform to help other people. And that's what I've done. This is my life. It's not something that I've made up. This is a decision that I had to make. And it was a difficult decision. It was something that I struggled with for years. And for people to think that I'm using this as something to garner publicity for the pageants, is incredibly offensive to me. And, it hurts your feelings because I was able to come out, was able to share this message, but it's not about me. It's not about my personal story. It's about the greater message of teaching people how to be proactive in their healthcare and saving the lives of other people. And I think that they just, they don't understand. They want to get up on their soapbox and preach behind a computer and be anonymous. And, people are going to say what they're going to say. You just have to take it with a grain of salt.
You mentioned in your other interviews that your mom left you her journals. So 60, 70, 80 years from now, when we're all gone, and you pass along your journals to your kids and grandkids, what do you want them to remember most about your life?
I think that their mom wasn't a quitter, and that's the one thing that my parents really tried to instill in me, that, life isn't fair. It's never going to be easy, but that's no excuse for failure. And you need to use the things in your life that are hard for you to come on and to be a resilient person. And I think I've done that. And I really hope that my children someday say, my mom was tough, she was a fighter, and she did everything she could to be here for me.